Well, good morning, Facebook live stream group. How are you this morning? Hopefully everybody is good. We're waking up to some more snow. You got to get excited about this, right, gang? 45 days to spring, right? So count those days. Things are happening. Everyone's getting excited again about real estate. And again, this is where we love to welcome you to another version of our 10,000. I always tell people by this time, we're getting so smart about being pros. Each and every week, we learn something new. Each and every week, we get better at what we do. And again, it just begins with another great month. I'm looking at February, everything we're bringing to folks now that are just getting into the business. And man alive, if you're not picking up your pad, if you don't have your pen out, ready to take some amazing notes this month, there's something wrong with that, right? And so today, happy faces on the screen. You can see my friend Marissa Harrington. She is, of course, our broker support and part of our team here. Marissa, good morning. How are you?
Awesome. I'm in the house for the second day with children because of snow days.
I'm just going to say, how does that feel, right?
Oh, great.
Never dull, never dull. Well, and our special guest, which many of you know, many of you may not know, who is our director of marketing here at 5-Star, none other than, and I always love to say this name, Mary Scalzitti. So Mary, welcome. We're super glad you're here with us today. We talk about marketing, and man, this is like big gorilla time, right? This is like, where do you start with marketing? And we always say you start at the beginning, but what's the beginning? As I get into real estate for the first time, and it's been a while since my first and second year, but some of the basics. And I love it, Mary, that you're here, because we always, in our introductions as broker support people to our new folks, we always say, make that appointment with Mary. Get in front of Mary. Let's talk about some of those basics, some of the things that, of course, our marketing department is more than capable of doing. And many people don't know what they're capable of doing. So, Mary, I'm going to kind of throw this to you a little bit with some opening remarks and some thoughts.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Mary, as Doug mentioned, and I am the director of marketing here at 5-Star. A lot of the new to industry agents will meet with Emma, who is the marketing coordinator on our team. But if they want to talk specifics in terms of putting an actual, branding plan, have something custom done, next level marketing is when I tend to step in and maybe have another sit down with the new agents. So honestly, the same thing I tell a new agent every time is, where's your sphere, right? If you haven't started compiling a sphere, then that should be step one. So you have to have all of your contacts in one place, and you can utilize a CRM, you can use a spreadsheet, whatever it is, but get everybody in one place. Until you have everybody in one place, you don't have a handle on when the last time you reached out is, when you need to reach out again, what you spoke with them about when you had your initial conversation, all of those good things. And really, there's no better reason to reach out to your sphere than to tell them that you're in real estate now, right? Like that in of itself is a reason to have a phone call and say, hey, just wanted to check in, wanted to let you know that I got my real estate license. I'm super excited to be launching my new career in real estate. I want to be your go-to resource for all things real estate needs. So I'm here if you need me. And it doesn't need to be sales pitchy. I'm not asking if they're looking to buy or sell a home, but it is a touch point. And so compiling your list of contacts, and this is literally anybody and everybody that you can think of to put in this list, right? It's your contacts, your friends, family, past coworkers. I'm sure that a lot of you had previous jobs coming into real estate, right? You worked in other fields. So using contacts from your previous jobs, even if your kids are in school, you have contacts through their school or sporting, those types of things, your significant others contacts, all of those people should be in your sphere. And then making an individual phone call to everybody that you have phone numbers for would be my step one.
Did you say phone calls, Mary? Like actually like picking up the phone? That's amazing. Yeah, keep going.
It's crazy because phones do other things besides texting. And I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, that's where I would start, because I think that the biggest question I hear from new to industry agents is, what can I do now?
Yep.
What can I do right now? How do I get moving here? And I always say, I'm like, is your sphere put together? And if so, are you making phone calls? Are you reaching out to people? Because if you're not, and you've only posted on social media that you're now in real estate, here's the reality of social media posts on Facebook. A small percentage of people will actually see what you've posted on Facebook, right? We know Facebook algorithms completely control who gets to see who's posting what. And so unless you've had a recent interaction with people and you've liked something of theirs, or they're a person you interact with on a regular basis, a small percentage of the people that you're actually connected to will see your post. So you cannot rely on a Facebook post to get broadcast to everybody in your sphere that you're now in real estate. That's not a reliable source. So making that phone call, and for people that you don't have phone numbers for, send an email, send a direct message on Facebook, tell them what you're doing now, but find a way to touch every single person in your sphere.
Yeah, don't be that secret agent, right? Don't be that secret agent counting on that text or that email or whatever else. Yeah, make that call.
And sometimes people, I've definitely heard over the years I've been doing this, some people are from out of town, and they say, I don't have a sphere here. I'm from, I lived in Chicago for the past 6 years. I moved because my husband's from here. So I don't have a sphere, a local sphere to be marketing to. And if that is the case, I would encourage people to introduce themselves to their neighbors, right? Introduce themselves to the people who live next door and across the street. Get involved in your children's school. Meet people, right? You have to meet people. And then everybody that you meet is a person that becomes on your sphere list that you're going to have those consistent outreaches to.
Boy, that's smart. That is super smart. Well, and again, it's talking about kids that, let's say that go to your kid's school, people that, and again, adopting them to your sphere is as easy as what you just said, right? If you meet them for the very first time, adopt them, put them in your context, begin that communication. That's where it begins.
I think that, when I've met with agents, I think that sometimes they haven't considered their sphere first, and their initial plans for marketing are to start mailing to a neighborhood because they like the price point of the area, or, whatever it is. In my mind, there are two reasons you mail a neighborhood. Either you've done business there or you live in the neighborhood. Okay, that's why you mail a neighborhood, right? Not because it's like, yeah, I'd love to mail East GR because the price points are 750,000 and up. Great, let's start farming there. But the reality is, it's going to take a lot longer to get a return on your investment when you're farming a completely, bare neighborhood that you have no connection to. You don't live there, you haven't done business there. So keep that in mind. I do think it's very valuable to mail to your specific neighborhood after you've introduced yourself to your neighbors. There's a very powerful message behind I live here. It's like you're automatically a resource. You can automatically be a go-to because you live in that area. The second part is, if you've done business in an area, so say you've had your first sale, right? Whether you were on the listing side or the buyer side, start mailing the immediate addresses right around that home. Nothing portrays a better marketing presentation to the neighborhood than the fact that you were able to sell a home in their neighborhood. It's like, oh, well, they sold Christy's house down the street, they can definitely sell my house, right? And they've probably also, if you had the listing, seen a sign in the yard, which is just another like reiterates the fact that you can be that agent for them.
That's great advice, because again, a lot of people just don't realize that. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I sold the house down the street. Real estate conversations are really easy now because maybe they see your sign and maybe they say things like, well, gosh, I know Doug sold that house down the street. Again, it's an opening to that next conversation, right? And again, don't be afraid to adopt folks. Make them part of what you're doing. Let them know. So those are all good things. Marissa, you got a team. You got a team.
Yes.
And,
yes.
How does that work with your team? Obviously, when people start on your team as the team leader, you set the bar high. You're saying, here's what we need to do as a group, and here's what you need to do as an individual. How does that work for you guys? How does that work for you guys?
That's a great question. So we actually spend the last quarter of the year planning together as a team. What are the things that we are going to do as a team to get in front of our sphere, and also get in front of people that we have not done business with yet. And so we plan together. And so, Mary, I love the fact that you brought up the use of postcards and farming. I learned very early on in my career that I could not afford, especially when I was brand new in the business, that I could not afford to farm a neighborhood. And even now, it just, for me, is not the best use of dollars. I would rather send a just listed or just sold postcard to the 100 houses in the immediate vicinity of the house that we just sold. That is a better use of money, in my opinion, than just, farming an entire neighborhood, because that's consistent. Like, you have to do that consistently over time. And so as a team, we have learned that together. And so we're very intentional about what we do. And everything that we send out is team branded. So individual agents, we actually have this going on right now, 2 agents on my team that are sending postcards to their sphere. And I've one agent sending postcards to, she just sold a house in an area, and she wanted to send postcards to the closest homes around that house. And it is, branded with her headshot, her contact information, but also the team information on the back. So I love to empower my agents to go get their own business, because as successful as they are is as successful as the team is, right? So being an individual, like having their own individual brand, marketing to their own individual spheres, I encourage them to do that. So we do individual things, and then we also do things together as a team. So people are getting hit from all different areas and vantage points with the Harrington team.
Yeah. Do you follow that up with a call? Again, like Mary and I were talking about, is that important that once you do the mailing, do you call 2 weeks later and say, hey, this is Doug, just wanted to make sure you got my call, my whatever you sent them?
Yes, so we do. Yes, we do. We do something called an 8x8. So the 8x8 campaign includes sending. This is specifically to our sphere. Sending a postcard, connecting on social media, phone call, face to face is a part of it as well. So we have 8 weeks of touches that we do, and like right now, sorry, baby home. Right now, we have one person that's doing an 8x8. So she's in her 8-week process right now. And at the end of it is a phone call or a face-to-face.
Okay, good. Mary, what were you going to say? I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. What I was going to tack on to Marissa's point there, when we're talking about farming is a very specific term. And when you use the term farming, you're talking about mailing to an area of people who have no idea who you are. So it's not mailers to your sphere of contacts who have seen Marissa Harrington's name before, or they know Marissa's husband, or they go to school with their kid. It's completely, from scratch. And so what I wanted to tack onto here is if you have a listing in a neighborhood, I would always recommend mailing more frequently to a smaller number of homes. If you're controlling your spend, right? Don't send 10,000 mailers twice a year. Mail to the closest 50 or 100 homes around the property more often, right? So that's a way to balance the spend. But I think it's powerful to mail a just listed when the listing goes live, and then a just sold. So you're hitting them twice, right? The same group of people you're hitting at least twice, because if you're going to send something and say, hey, this was just listed, you better follow up and tell me when you sell it, right? Like, not only my listing, but I'm also selling in your neighborhood. So I think that's a powerful piece too. I never promote a one-time outreach. I don't think that there's much value behind it. I think that it has to be at least 2 touches. And some people don't even want to go the route of physical mailing. I know that some people are resistant to postcards and those types of things because they say they get it and they throw it away. And that is a valid thing to say. But I will also follow that up with posting on social media is not enough. Right? So posting on social media is not a needle mover. It's not going to bring you business on its own. It has to be coupled with other marketing efforts. The biggest one, honestly, being the individual outreaches through phone calls and text messages and in-person meetings. Mailers are great. Mailers are something that are relatively easy, that can just be going out for you. Same with like automated email campaigns, but those one-on-one conversations, that is what brings business.
Yeah, boy, I love it. I love it. Hey, we have a question, and maybe this is just a good time from Nick Sparks over in the Muskegon area. And I know Nick well. He loves to kind of jump out there and try some different things. He calls, he follows up. He asks thoughts on postcards versus digital marketing campaigns, such as ads on Facebook, some of the other social media platforms. What are your thoughts on that, Mary?
So, you know, the interesting part about doing ads on Facebook is that you can only control the audience so much, right? So if you're placing an ad on Facebook, you can select a mile radius around a certain area, right? So you can put in a city and say, I want to do, 20 miles within GR. You can tailor it slightly by interest, but really Facebook is going to determine where these ads are getting to and who's seeing them. So you definitely don't have as much control over them. Whereas postcards, you have the ability to pull a very, very specific mailing list of people through RPR or pay for one through Corfact or any of those, where you can have that exact same list of people. So for example, if you're going to place a Facebook ad and you say, I want to do a Facebook ad over the next 14 days, $5 a day, and then it expires and you want to place another one, the exact same people are not necessarily going to see this every time you place these ads. So you're not always hitting the same people, where with postcards, you definitely are if you're using the same mailing list. So what I would say is do both. Anytime that we've done a campaign, and again, if we were looking at spending, spend a certain amount on Facebook, take your overall budget and split it. Postcards and Facebook ads. Don't say I only am going to do Facebook ads, and don't say only going to do postcards. Do a smaller audience and do both. When we've done campaigns from 5-Star, so we've done campaigns out to agents in other cities around Michigan, we do both. We hit them in 3 ways. We do postcards to their homes. We do social media ads on Facebook and Instagram. And then we also try to do some outdoor advertising, whether it's through billboards or whatever it is. We hit them multiple ways, but the same people. I don't think that just doing Facebook ads is enough, and I can see how just doing postcards isn't enough. But if you do both and targeting the same people, I feel like that's a smarter spend of your money. Smaller groups, hitting them twice.
More bang for your buck, right?
Well, and does that make sense? Many people don't know that my wife and I kind of formed our own team over here, and we're kind of trying to do the same thing that we're talking about right now. We met with Mary last week, and one of our takeaways that you said, which we've just talked about now, is that when you control your spend and you target that smaller group of people, and you're more consistent with that smaller group of people, boy, does that make a lot of sense to me. Rather than just spread it out all over to people that don't know me, don't know who, to me, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think, you can look at your budget, because I completely understand that a lot of newer agents don't have a lot of funds to dedicate to marketing, because if they're not making money yet, then what are they spending on marketing? And I get that. So you have to be smart with your money. Yeah. And so I definitely think a way to do that is, if I am comfortable spending $100 per month for the next year, how am I going to spend this? Do it in whatever way you're going to hit a smaller group more frequently, as opposed to blanketing a huge area just once.
Yep. Well, I love it. I love it. Hey, Marissa, I keep talking about, when I hear the word unique marketing ideas, you guys are always thinking outside the box. You're always trying something different. Do you track a lot of what you do? And do you say, well, what would happen if we did this? Let's take a look at this. It's something that's maybe totally out of the box. What would you say to someone that just gets into this business that says, man, I'm lost. What would I do to start this conversation, to do something that might be totally upstream when everybody else is going downstream? What are your thoughts?
I've learned this specifically from our marketing team at 5-Star, is, find what your thing is, find what your lane is, and stay in it.
Stay in the lane.
Because of the fact that I talk about this when I coach agents, right? Especially new agents that are building their database and trying to figure out who to reach out and market to. figure out who your ideal client is. Who do you want to work with? Who is that group of people? And then go find them. So a lot of what we do, we're a very community oriented team on purpose, right? We give back, and is the intention to get business from getting back? No, we give back because we want to. But do we get business because we're in the community and we give back, and we do community events, we do neighborhood, all of that is very intentional. And we identified about 2.5 years ago, we identified who our ideal clients are here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And then we said, okay, where are those people? It's like going fishing. Go fish. Where are they? Let's go to where they are. And always coming from a place of presenting value. And for me specifically, always coming from a place of authenticity, right? That's exactly what Mary just said. What allows you to be creative is being specific about who you want to get in front of, and then allow that to get your juices flowing, get the ideas flowing there. Okay, I want to get in front of these people. Where are they? How can I get in front of these people? And then it just kind of snowballs from there, and it's very successful, because if you're specific, that's going to yield more return than if you're, like Mary said, broad and just trying to reach everybody.
Boy, that makes sense. That makes sense. Mary, what else? What's on your mind? What else should we be telling folks?
Yeah. So, I think there's a couple of points that I wanted to touch on that I feel like are very important. Jumping back to like, what can I do now? So I think that the sphere compiling and the phone calls are non-negotiable. They have to happen. I think if you're going to be successful, you have to have those things in place. Another portion of it is, if people are going to be looking you up and deciding if they want to do business with you, then your online presence should really be on point. So I would recommend making sure you have a good headshot. I would make sure that all of your profiles are up to date on Zillow, Realtor.com, your Facebook business page, create a Google My Business, and then on these online profiles, you can also be collecting reviews as you do business, right? So I know that if I moved here from Chicago 4 years ago. And when I was deciding if I was going to work with a certain agent, I absolutely looked them up. I didn't know anybody in the area. So I was like, okay, who is this Micah Childress person? Do I want to work with this person? What are they all about? And so I typed in Micah Childress, Realtor, Michigan. And I'm like, okay, let's see what he's got. He's got a website. He's got a Google My Business with reviews from past clients. But even if he didn't have those, because he was relatively new in the business too, he had a video. He had an agent video where I could see him and his family and get an idea of who he was. And so I know not everyone can afford an agent video right off the bat, but you can create and maintain free profiles across many platforms to ensure that people can find you and that verify that you're a legitimate business and get your contact information. So just, if you haven't before, Google your name, Realtor in Michigan, and see where you populate, and make sure that everything is done, updated with your headshot, appropriate contact info, your office, create a Google My Business, make sure you're where you need to be. And that's all free stuff. That's all free stuff that you can do. And then the other part of it is, yes, we're trying to get business, right? We're making our phone calls. Hopefully we're getting involved in some capacity. Maybe we're doing in-person meetings or in-person taking them to coffee. Once you have a client and they become a past client, boy, you better have a good plan in place to stay in touch with this person. Because I would imagine, and what I've learned is that the top producing agents that I've talked with, 90+% of their business comes from referrals. Wow. They have taken such good care of people that these past clients have continued to give them business, right? Like that's the goal. You don't want, if you don't have to hustle so hard for the business, you don't want to. You want to get people and then take really good care of these people. So once a client becomes a past client, make sure you have a good plan with, add them to your monthly automated email campaign. There's a free one you can turn on in Dashboard, 5 Stars Dashboard CRM. So have them getting something on a monthly basis. Get their birthday, send them a birthday card once a year, mark their home anniversary. So when you close on their home, mark their anniversary in your CRM or however you're tracking things, and send them something every year on their home closing date. Okay, this year, very interestingly, as I have with past years, the agent I worked with sent me, I got a letter. It was like the week before my 4-year home anniversary. And I got a letter in the mail and it said, it's been 4 years since you've closed on your home, you know, whatever it was. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but then he took a little pen and he wrote at the bottom, keep posting adorable pictures of Genevieve. We love to see them, which is my 2-year-old. And I was like, man, that really felt good. Like you reached out, you added a little personal thing. So I've heard from my agent, they've celebrated my home anniversary. And now it's like, man, you're just kind of like staying top of mind with these people. So I want to just, if you need help putting a past client touch plan in place, I'm happy to work with you. But home anniversaries, birthdays, automated monthly piece, do client appreciation events at least once a year if you can, but stay in contact with these people, because if they had a good experience with you, they are the ones who are going to send you business.
And they're going to fly your flag no matter what, right? You want to be part of that conversation down the road. So, man,
they are your waving fans.
Does that make sense, folks? I'm hoping people are writing all these notes, guys, because these are all things these are foundational things. So, Marissa, would you agree? We got a few minutes left. I just wanted to kind of touch base and see what your thoughts are, your final thoughts.
Mary, I'm so glad that you brought that up. So that's why I said I have received a lot of my marketing guidance from our marketing team. So I just want to encourage, you know, not just new agents, not just new to industry. Good Lord, as soon as I start talking. But not just new agents, even if you're a more seasoned agent and you want to inject some life into your business, meet with our marketing team. Yep. They are phenomenal. Their job is to sit down with us and have these types of conversations and develop a plan for you to get in front of the people that you really need to get in front of in order to grow your business or to continue to be successful in your business. Because everything that you just said, Mary, is what we do. And I got all my tips from the marketing team way back when we were trying to figure out as a team how to grow and to build and to brand ourselves. So the home anniversaries, this is what we say as a team. We just love on folks. We just love on people. That's what we do. We took our sphere. I took money out of, I used to pay for Zillow leads. And for me, I was looking at the rate of return and going, you know, we're getting transactions, but not the way that I want to be, right? And so we made the courageous decision at that time to take that money and reallocate it to just loving on our sphere by doing all of these things that Mary is talking about right now. And it has been extremely successful for us. So trust it. Use the resources that 5 Star is providing for you in the marketing team. They have a wealth of information and expertise, and obviously, you know, knowledge and creativity. That's what they're here for.
Yeah. Well, it's something you said in closing too. I'm going to reiterate and support the idea that 85% of my business last year came from that sphere, Mary. And so when you think about that, why aren't you going to want to spend more and more and more time cultivating what's working, right? So, Mary, any final thoughts?
Yeah, you know, just one quick one. I think when I talk with seasoned agents and I say, you know, let's look at a business breakdown. What percentage of your business came from your sphere? What percentage of your business was just random calls from a sign? By and large, 80 to 90, maybe even more percent come from referrals. And so to me, that is a huge flag of, well, that's where you spend your money. That's where you spend your money on marketing. If they're already giving you business, imagine what you can do, how much more you can get by focusing your efforts in marketing and money on them. But as new to industry, your sphere is your low-hanging fruit. So please make your phone calls, please tap into them. And then, you know, I'm a marketing resource here for you. If you have any questions, we have 2 graphic designers on staff. We have a fabulous videographer on staff. Emma, the marketing coordinator, is wonderful too. So if you have specific questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Or if you want to work with us on design stuff, we're always happy to do that too. That's what we love. But never feel like you're floating out there and you don't know what to do next when it comes to marketing, because there are people here to help.
Man alive. Couldn't have said that any better. I love that. Mary, thank you. Thank you so much. Marissa, thank you so much. Man, this is, again, more of a conversation that keeps going week after week after week. I am excited about next week, you guys, because I don't know much about, quote unquote, the home girls. But next week will be all about branding, and we've got some other special guests that we really want to put in front of you as you guys begin your real estate career to say, hey, this is what branding looks like for them. What would it look like if you worked with our marketing department on branding yourself? And so I can't wait for next week. I'm excited. We've got, again, the homegirls coming. And again, I don't know much about them either. So this will be great for me as well. So ladies, thank you so much. Mary, for sure. Thank you for being a part of this. And we hope this helped. Please take things from this and apply it. Do something with the information you're given today. Pick up the phone, call Emma, call Mary, call Marissa, call Doug. Let's just get your business off to a great start. So folks, I hope you have a great rest of the week. Ladies, again, thanks so much for being here, and we wish everybody stay warm. Spring's coming. All right, folks.
Amen.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Thanks again for the time.